Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Teacher's Lounge. I'm Tanner Wilson.
And I'm Megan Foster. I'm back.
Oh my gosh,
Hello.
cheers!
Woo!
Oh my gosh, with our Wendy Cherry Vanilla Coke. Shout out Wendy's.
Hashtag
If you want to sponsor.
Yeah. Give us a
We'll
treat.
hashtag tag you. Hashtag no, we won't. So, this is going to be a very controversial.
Big news.
I guess it's not controversial for us, but it's controversial for the civilians. We are going to be talking about the bills that are being passed in the government buildings, the Senate and the House.
Of Indiana.
Of Indiana, which apparently are taking place in over 10 other states as well. But we're going to be focusing just on Indiana.
Well, I feel like we're a lot of talk around some places, though. Like some other people, like videos like TikTok and Instagram. I've seen a lot of people talk about Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana specifically.
Yeah.
I think it's because we've already passed one of the two.
Yeah,
the Senate has passed.
Oh my gosh.
So now we're on to the good old House. Whoop whoop. But anyways, so if you do not know, the House Bill 1134 talks about us teachers having to have our lesson plans prepared by June 30th or like June of 2022 for all of next year's lesson
school
plans.
Year. 180 days.
180 days of lesson plans.
Everything.
Once you have submitted them, nothing can be changed. So that is something that we'll be talking about. There is also...
And why it doesn't work.
Yes.
Doesn't work.
And we will give prime examples of... I mean, I'm going to give examples of this past week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think any educator can give you an example of why that is dumb. But we also we'll talk about that if students have problems going on in their lives, we we won't be able to talk to them without parent consent.
Right.
And sometimes the children need to talk about their parents because something might be going on. Well, we can't talk to them about anything personal unless the parent gives us permission.
So therefore, not able to build relationships with our students, therefore treating them like robots.
And we won't be able to have social emotional connections with them. It'll basically just be hi, not even how you doing, because you can't ask them.
Bad. Okay, stop. Don't say anything.
Let me dojo your parent and ask for permission. She says she's having a bad day. I didn't dive any further. I wanted to make sure you were able to let me know if I could do that. So that's something. I mean, I feel like we just talked about that. We don't really need to go back to that.
But, I know, but it's still frustrating.
And then also within this bill, I assume it's all in the same bill. I haven't seen a second bill.
There's different ones here and there,
but between all of the bills,
this one's hefty. Like, it just includes a whole.
It's also talking about censoring history. So, like, talking about.
Well, slavery.
Yeah, like slavery wasn't a thing. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
We won't be able to teach that. Any books with any of those discussions in it, I'm sure the Holocaust would probably be one of those that they would censor as well, because people believe that didn't happen either. So there's just a lot of things happening within these bills. And we are going to post a link below. It's through the ISTA website, which is Indiana...
Student.
Indiana State Teacher Association. You would think we would know the name of that because we're both in it.
Let's add student in there.
But it's Sunday at 6:10 p.m. So, but the ISTA website is the union we're a part of. And there's different ways you can take action. You can tweet our senators and representatives. You can
Tim Brown and Phil Boots.
Speaking specifically of our area, you can call them, you can send an email, you can tweet them, and different things like that.
Yep.
So, going back to the main issue at hand, which is House Bill 1134. which requires us educators, those of us that will be left if this gets passed, will require you to state your lesson plans for all 180 days.
So don't worry, we will not have a summer off.
Yeah.
I know that's what many people think.
Yes.
I will not be sitting next to the pool or, sleeping or anything. Don't worry. I won't.
Resting my mind.
Yeah, it's fine.
But we'll have to have those prepared a year in advance with no changes after we submit them. So I would like to state the obvious. Oh my gosh, look, I found trash in my pocket.
Hey, it's the bill 1134.
Oh my gosh, here, let's make a wish. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Felicia. So, just this past week alone, okay? So, we have split up our math team, so we rotate for math. And in this week alone, just for math, we were off 3 days 2 weeks ago because of Snowmageddon, Snowpocalypse, as I like to call it. 2022. And I taught something Tuesday, like rounding fractions or something. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I had something planned, aka what, I don't know, because I didn't do it because I wasn't here.
Right.
So Monday comes, and I'm like, oh, we've been off 4 days. Well, 5. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5.
You better not go back to that lesson. Did you go back to that lesson?
Yeah. I went back and reviewed because I knew we wouldn't remember.
You mean you went back to do what was right for the kids?
God,
How could you do that?
Sinner.
Oh
Sinner.
That's ridiculous.
But, so then my plans were off for the whole week of what I had planned the week before because I had to go back and review.
You know how terrible that makes you sound, right?
I know.
Making sure the kids know what they're doing.
I know.
That's ridiculous.
And speaking of teaching like a lesson like midweek, so say it's Wednesday, okay, and I'm teaching, I'm just gonna stick with math because math is what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
so like adding mixed numbers, okay? Well, we first of all have to know our math facts in order to know what the least common denominator is.
Right.
Well, I planned for 1 day on that lesson. Got the homework back the next morning. Oof! Hot mess. Hot mess express.
Didn't you know that every kid is at the same level?
I mean, I know.
I mean, in our math classes, I know we have them split up, but they know all of their facts and they're just ready to go.
And it was just like thinking like into the future as I was like finding stuff on Super Teachers and IXL to like remediate and go. I know. And to go back, I was like, next year I won't be able to do this if this bill is passed. Or if I'm even here. I have no idea what will come.
Well, let's think about what happens what if you did not go back to that lesson? One, the kids would be lost for the rest of the year because you would not be able to build because of that lesson.
Not just a year, like the next like week for our test.
No, I know, but I mean that
like,
sets it up.
Just like,
grades would go down. Student morale would go down because they wouldn't feel successful. But let's think about even a subject where we don't have them split up. Okay, so we have, let's see, I have, so we have kids
reading.
all the way from
reading.
From first grade level all the way up to, I don't know, we could say
like 5th or 6th.
Right, 5th or 6th grade level.
Yeah,
So
in one class.
Yeah, so you're telling me if this child doesn't comprehend the book that we're reading, that I'm sorry, we're gonna go on because these kids understand, but you don't. So I'm sorry about you, but I'm gonna have to leave you behind, and I can't help you because I have a schedule I have to stick to, and that's not in my plans, so I can't help you.
And even if, piggybacking off of that, like we have reading groups, and like we split them up by ability, so we can give harder texts to our higher kids, and we can remediate a lot more with our lower kids who need the extra help. We don't know what our class composite is in June. How am I gonna put in my plans that Jenny Lee Jones and Arthur need to be in red group and they're gonna do this book for 2 weeks?
Well, I want to know
You know what I mean?
who has...
Is Phil Boots coming in here and like looking at my class composite and is gonna let me know? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay. You were looking at me like I was stupid. I was like,
Mr. Brown, Mr. Tim Brown, I would like you to let me know every kid that's going to move district from district or state to state. So then I can also make sure that I have my roster. Pretty sure that we don't get our rosters even until the day before school, and sometimes they change the day of.
And the day after.
Yeah.
And the week after.
But I have to make sure that I know exactly what I'm teaching, even though the kids might not be ready for it or they need to be challenged.
You know, what do you think about that, Tim?
Which, but except we will never speak to them because they don't speak to people, so they don't. Yeah.
That's why we need you to take all these actions. Take all these call to actions.
Yes.
Which is once again going to be listed below in our links.
Tweet.
Which you can tell them in this little fill in the blank thing.
Yeah, well, there's a letter that's already there, and you can just add your own thoughts, which I have a few times.
You can tweet them if you're a tweeter.
Yeah.
If you're a twit head.
Is that a thing? I'm behind you.
It is now.
Okay.
You can call them. They won't answer, but you can call. And the nice thing about the ISCA website here, which a lot of people need to utilize if you feel uncomfortable with like your talking points. Like you're not just gonna call and beep them out, you know?
Right.
Once you submit your information to the ISCA website saying that you support your Indiana educators, you think they know what's best for the students.
Wait,
and
are you telling me?
I know the teachers know what they're doing. I can't believe I said it either.
You mean we decided to go to school to try to...
I know that we actually want
to
make it.
But you know what? I want to take the standpoint real quick of...
Can I finish my thought?
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay. You tell me when you're done.
Just on the site, once you submit your info, somebody from the ISCA will call you and prep you, like give you talking points you can talk to yourself or helping you organize your own thoughts before the line connects you to the senator's assistant.
I would send emails to make their phone go off over and over.
Yeah. So, anywho, that was I just wanted to let you know that if you feel uncomfortable, the ISCA will help you through the process.
Anyway, sorry that I interrupted.
It's okay.
I can't help it. You know how I feel.
Yeah. This is how all Indiana educators feel. It's not just two people here.
No.
Mr. D on Instagram, who is a comedian kindergarten teacher, not even from Indiana, posted a big old story about it yesterday.
It was good.
And it was just like, I mean, Gary Brooks has said stuff about it. I mean, Jerry, I think it's Jerry. Anyways.
Jerry.
Okay, anyways, Megan, go ahead.
Okay, so I also want to take it from just not a teacher standpoint, but as a parent.
Because you will have kids in the system.
Right. I mean, we've started.
You do have, yeah, they're in preschool.
I mean, they're in preschool.
Which is in our school corp.
Right.
It's not just a home preschool.
It's true. I mean.
Because part of this bill is that the parents have access to all of our curriculum and all of that stuff. Which they already do.
Right. And, I do send home newsletters and such. I just feel that it's kind of like, I don't know, let's say you work at a bank and you have to know all the loans that are going to come in. You have to know who's going to get loans, and basically you'll have to know what your client's going to need before you ever meet them.
Yeah.
Or like how much money that they're going to borrow. And then what was another one?
But you're going to have a big business that just starts up, and they're going to want to come do business with you. Oh, sorry.
You're not.
I'm booked. You're not you're not in my plans for today.
But anyway, back as a parent. As being a parent and as an educator, I feel that honestly, those who go into education are the ones that want to do a good job and that they genuinely care and they want to reach out to parents. I don't think that we try to keep anything as a secret. And I don't know what legislators think that, like, what we're trying to do, but I know, like, as a parent, whoever my children have as teachers, they're gonna do the best that's for them. And yeah, you're not gonna like all of your children's teachers. It happens, and but I don't think that
censoring them.
Yeah, censoring them or making them
work harder than we already are.
Yeah, is the way to do it. Just reaching out to your teacher, your children's teacher, and asking them what they're learning. I don't see
reading what the teacher sent home.
Yeah, why we need more than that.
It's a two-way street. Teachers do a lot of one-waying, and the parents have to meet us. We can't, and a lot of parents do. I'm not saying that they don't, but the parents who are probably supporting this are parents that may not be as involved.
Right.
Or they think they're involved, but from a teacher's eyes, they're not. You know what I mean? So I think, but yeah, I loved your point with, like, the bank. Like, you're not going in and telling the bank, like,
yeah,
all these clients are gonna have, and like they have to submit their loans and stuff by June 30th. I want to read what our mutual friend. I didn't ask her if I can read this. I'll ask her after we get done recording this.
I'm sure she will.
But so if this law passes, this is just an example of what our friend CJ said. Oh my god, that sounded so, I don't know why I want to keep her anonymous. Right. It says, if this passes, August 2022, so aka
next school year.
Okay, lesson plans for the year done. I left out any social emotional topics. Did I remember to take out any of the parts of U.S. history that might offend someone? I think so. That only left me with 3 lessons to teach then. Oh well, I think I'm ready. First day of school. Oh, I have 6 kids above grade level in reading, but only on a 2nd grade level in math. Also, I have 6 needing small group accommodations and 2 who need speech therapy during a core instruction time. 2 weeks later, I've had 4 students quarantined for 8 days now, and now I need to review. I didn't have this in my plans. 2 months later, student wants to share a poem she wrote after her grandmother passed away from COVID. I guess I'll send a note for parents who believe the pandemic is a conspiracy to opt their children out of hearing it in class. Thanks, Bill 1134. And it just puts everything in a perspective. Like, all those events, it says 2 months later, but I mean, it's that all legit can happen within a week.
Oh, absolutely.
Of teaching. Like, nothing is impossible anymore.
And you could think about, I mean, just minutes, all the decisions that we're making and all the thoughts that are in our head constantly, and making sure that, most of us go home and we're constantly thinking about your kids. We're thinking about, okay, how can I make so-and-so better? How can I challenge this other person? And I just feel like it's getting to the point where people are not trusting teachers. They're not trusting them that they know what they're doing. I feel as if I am being turned into this sort of machine that produces, like these certain kids, and there's no individuality. That's
how it'll be after this bill passes.
Yeah.
There will be no individuality. There can't be any. They're all supposed to be at the same level at the same time, and if you're behind, you're gonna stay behind. There's no catching up for you, because I did not build that into my plans.
But what is that showing about our world and where we want to go? It shows, that we don't want to better people. We don't think that people should have the same opportunity just because if things might be differentiated a little bit. I mean, it's really sad is what it is. And the fact that there are these legislators that could go home at night and not feel guilty about, I want to know, like, I'm not trying to, like, be
Start
against.
A riot.
Yeah. Start a riot. But like,
Sorry.
as far as public school, like, I know that a few legislators, their kids were in private school. I'm not saying anything against private school, but I mean, thinking about public school and why they want to tear it down so much, I don't understand.
Especially when that's where all the kids are. I mean, there's only a handful that go to private schools.
Mm-hmm.
And like 90% of our students are public schools.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we just get crapped on and crapped on and crapped on, harder and harder and harder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure during the pandemic, all of these private schools and charter schools had one-to-one laptops, one-to-one Chromebooks, and their teachers had all this crap. And we're over here setting up a frickin' Wi-Fi truck in the parking lot because our community doesn't have that. Our public school community doesn't have that support from legislators.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about the public school people. They don't care about these kids who come from rough home lives, come from no money.
Those kids are the best inspiration.
Oh, they're probably going to be the best leaders. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are so many. I'm not saying all of them.
No. Right.
But
right.
I mean, there's so many kids here that are great leaders, great people, so compassionate, so caring, just so smart in general. They could go to private school. Well, they could go to charter school, I'm sure.
That's another bill. I don't remember the number, but where...
Well, there's a bill where public school funding...
That's what I'm talking about,
to be shared. Oh, girl, I have... It's on this page. It's like 1072 or something like that.
Yeah,
it's also on the ISTA thing you're going to get. Yeah, House Bill 1072. Forcing schools to share their money with charter schools.
You know, because we get enough as it is. Yeah. I mean, we're overflowing over here.
Because as you can tell, I was almost starting to hold up my laptop because I thought we were recording on my laptop. Just the things you see behind me in Megan's room. By the way, we're in Megan's room this week. Our school corporation did not buy this for us.
Wow.
These doors, they did. But like these things on the wall would not be here because if we weren't here. Because the government gives our school corporations no money, no funding, therefore they cannot give any money or funding to us to fund our rooms.
And then they expect us to work miracles with nothing.
Oh, legit nothing.
I mean, I think in our corporation we're lucky as far as, you know, our administration cares about, you know, like our schools and keeping them up and trying to have a pleasant place for our kids to learn. But, I mean...
Not every corporation's like that.
No, but, I mean, we're working with pennies. And then, you know...
We're working with pennies and we need hundreds. Dollar bills.
Yeah. Dollar bill, y'all!
So, anyways, I'm sure we could talk for a gajillion hours about this, but we wanted to just pop on here in our little teacher's lounge episode number 5. Woo. We've done 5.
I know.
Technically, you've done 4.
I know.
But
I was there in spirit.
She was there in spirit. But sorry it's coming out later. We had things to do Friday, and then Saturday we had things to do, and Sunday's just our day to come to school because you know that's what we do with our lives. We put our kids first before our own lives, and it's just
And we love our kids.
Leaving before we leave on our notes here, as you were talking, I wanted to say something about my God, like my heart's palpitating. Like I'm so frustrated that what happened to people caring about teachers like they did when the pandemic first started?
You mean when they actually had to do our work?
Like, yeah, when they had to teach from home. And they were like, oh my God, teachers do this every day? Like, I can't believe that. And now here we are. Oh my God, if there were not school people watching this and it was just like
I know
my own personal YouTube and I didn't care, I would so be cursing right now.
I know.
Oh God, forgive me.
I know.
But I'm just like, why do they just want to SHIT on the little people? Like, and there are so many parents who are like,
there's a teacher shortage. Well,
no doubt. And there are parents, I have so many parents in my classroom right now that are so loving and caring, and they, I mean,
Same.
every holiday, this little girl, she's not little, but she's 11 years old,
Yeah.
is like, what kind of Starbucks do you like? And because I get a Starbucks every day, FYI, if you didn't know. Feel free to send some money to wilson@seville.k12.ia.us.
And I'll dip into the fun.
Yeah, we'll share. But she, every holiday, she's like, what do you like from Starbucks? I'm like, I already told your mom. Like, the first holiday, I told her mom. And every holiday, she brings me a coffee. Do I still get a coffee for myself? Yes, because I cannot trust that she will bring it in. But it's just like, there are people out there that care, but there are so many people out there that just think that we work 24/7. We have no emotions. You can yell at us and walk all over us. And I'm letting you know, people, not having it.
Nope.
That's not keeping us here. And we're some of the good ones. We're not the best, I'll tell you that.
No,
but I mean,
but
like, we genuinely care. Like, we wouldn't have come into this profession if we hated kids and wanted to see everybody fail and not do well. I mean, when my kids get an F on something or even a C, I'm like, oh my God, what could I have done better? Why was that so bad?
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, there was a math test this year that like everybody failed because I gave them the level 3.
But you know,
test.
if bill passes, you can't go back.
I know, but I did. I gave them a level 2 and they still failed. So I went back and I gave them the level 1. They took 3 tests in 3 days.
But you
level 1, they passed.
But you couldn't do that. But
I know, but it's so frustrating.
That made them feel better, though.
Oh, it did, for sure. It didn't tank their grade because I obviously didn't take the bad ones. But we talked through the bad ones.
But I
and
want
like,
to know,
why did you,
I want to know, what's the point? What are they trying to get at here? Because I feel like they're just trying to cause more division between parents and educators, make us the bad people, just because, you know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess we're not human. I don't know.
We're not.
But
so, anywho, sorry, we went back on that soapbox as we were closing out. But anyways, happy to have Megan back.
Yay.
We are thrilled to be back for another up. I didn't see any comments about thin or thick or whatever, skin or thick, skinny or thick.
Yeah.
Mothers. I didn't see any comments. How rude. But we're happy to be back. Comment below what you want us to talk about next time. And
please send a bunch of emails to these people.
The link will be below for sure this time, even though we say that every video. Megan's in charge. So we hope you guys had fun and learned something. And even if you don't agree with us, we hope that you will talk politely in the comments. If not, we will delete it and turn off the comments, which is no skin off my nose. So anyways, this has been the Teacher's Lounge.
Can you tell we're tired?
I'm Tanner, and that's Megan, and we will see you next time. Bye.